It is the Frank and Friends show. Hi, I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Kathryn Frady.
I have this feeling, I'm forgetting something, so let me get what I have to say off the top of the show. We do appreciate your subscribing to us on YouTube and ringing the bell for notifications. What do you do? How do you subscribe, though?
You smash that button.
That's what you do. And we also appreciate your sharing the show, telling your friends about us on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and maybe Twitter, but I'm not that excited about Twitter.
We don't love Twitter.
No. My friend Bean loves Twitter. He's like, I think he's the last one.
Yeah.
And also our website.
frankandfriendshow.com.
Thank you so much. So I do feel like I'm forgetting something, and part of it is because although this episode should drop exactly a week after the previous episode, I think, right? I think it should come out on, what's
Monday?
Monday the 15th?
Yes.
That's the plan, anyway.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been 2 weeks since we recorded because it's been like a week and a half.
It feels like a month in my world.
Because you've done a lot.
Whew.
I've done a lot, but
Yeah.
we deliberately got ahead so that we could have that gap in there because of the Marble City Opera Diving for Pearls Gala.
Yes. I don't know if it was so much of a gala as a gala. You know, I was having this conversation actually with somebody.
It was a glitter and be gala.
Yeah, exactly. A glitter and be gala.
You could call the next one that, actually.
Yeah, because a gala is, more like, all right, we're going to have a good time. Like, it's a gala, but if it's a gala, then it's, very upper crust and all that.
Well, I think you had a few people on the one table who thought it was a gala, and then definitely a gala at the next table over. You had a little bit of both going on.
It's for everybody.
It was. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. And what I was most impressed by was I don't know if meatiness is the right word for it, but I've been to things where they say, oh, there's going to be pop-up entertainment. And like most of the people don't pay any attention. Like it'll be in a big old house and there's poor Jackie Burkine singing her lungs out in one of the rooms. And there's like 5 people paying attention, and the party's going on elsewhere throughout the mansion without anyone paying never mind. So what I mean by that is when you did your pop-up entertainment, it wasn't pop-up entertainment. It was I'm going to grab you all by the collars, and you're going to watch this scene from an opera, and it was great.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Thank you.
It was
I have
fantastic.
to tell you, it's very funny that you say that because when we started La Traviata, which was the first pop-up.
All right, so we're at this room at the Arboretum, or no, I guess it is
Knoxville Botanical
Gardens and Arboretum, and it's really hard to find in East Knoxville.
Very difficult to find.
So and especially that day because it's now dark it's the first day of standard time.
Right.
So Jerry and I, thankfully, my call time was 2:45 in the afternoon, so I was there during daylight. I feel like the old person. I got there during daylight. I only drive during daylight, so I'm going to have to wait here until dawn before I can leave.
That's good, yeah.
So anyway, I'd never been there before. So when Jerry and I drove in, according to the Google Maps, we're on the wrong side of the park, so we take a left turn, and we're now on the pedestrian path with people.
Oh, no.
And we're driving along it thinking,
no.
I think it's over this way, because I'm looking at the satellite view at this point.
Right.
And the pedestrian path just comes to an end at this grove of trees, this copse of trees. And so we had to turn around on the grass and drive back. Actually, we ended up going back out to the road, and we found the other parking lot where we were supposed to have gone in the first place.
It's a little tricky.
So, but point being, though, that we're in this big old room, and when it comes time for the pop-up entertainment, there you've got a pianist, and he's been playing, but not everyone knows that you're now into the La Traviata music.
Right, exactly.
And the point is that the party is happening. It's been going on for about half an hour. People are getting comfortable, and all of a sudden, now you're going to attack them with this party scene of La Traviata.
Yeah, it's sort of like a flash mob in that way because all of the performers have been hanging out and being a part of the party.
Yeah.
And the first 2 singers who started, it was Maurice and Ben, and they started to sing.
So he's a bass and a tenor, or a baritone and a tenor, something like that?
Yeah, baritone and a tenor. And they had a little chorus line together, and I could tell that the party was still going on.
Wait a second. In opera, does a chorus line mean they're singing the same thing together, or are they doing like a kick line like the Rockettes?
Both, yeah.
All right.
I mean, but mostly singing a line together.
All right.
So I could tell, no one was really still aware that there was singing happening in this moment. And so I made eye contact with James, and he was like, it's, no one's paying attention yet.
James is your husband, the opera director.
Yes. And
so he knows how to direct.
And I was like, don't worry about it. I'm about to start singing, so no problem. And that's when I grabbed everyone by the collar.
Figuratively, because you went big.
I did.
Yeah, you went big and you went loud, and everyone's like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait, we're supposed to stop and listen.
Yeah. But that's what I loved about it, though, was that it wasn't just a little snippet. It was a good, 10-minute scene?
Yeah.
And then we went back to the party. And then nobody wanted to go back to the party after that because they thought they were at a show now.
No, they were like, more.
And you're telling me, get them back to mingling. I remember I had to do that every time after a performance. I remember one time I said to them, okay, this is the part where we get back to we start mingling again and we stop looking at me.
Well, they might have just wanted to look at you, too.
No, they didn't. Yeah. Well, only because I was dressed as a concierge.
I mean,
I had a nice suit from Prestige Tuxedo, and that was nice. But it was the Marble City Opera name tag that put it over the top. And I didn't realize how concierge-y I looked.
Until that photo, right?
Well, yeah, because in the photo, you see yourself in a different light, literally and figuratively. And this was later in the evening when you're doing the Candide number, the Glitter and Be Gala. Glitter and Be Gay.
Yes. But you were such a good sport. I told you where to stand so that I could use you as part of my joke.
And I was excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I know I was there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the joke was going to be. I just knew I had to stand there. Yeah. And the joke was something, you just do the auctioneer and he's the good guy.
He's the good guy. The Grand Duke who gained my maiden hand.
Okay.
And so I was like, either a Grand Duke is going to gain my hand or some other person.
Oh, and you can't, yeah.
And I used you as the other person.
And I made a face.
And then I cried.
So let's show that picture real quick. So this is a snapshot that Peter Johnson took from the other end of the room right after you've done the diss of me, which I loved, of course, because, and Blake is loving, you can see that's Blake Gibson on the right side of the picture, and he's loving the fact that you've just praised him as the character, and I'm playing along like, like, what did I do?
And Jerry Becker, I think, joined in and said, sorry, Frank, or something,
Yeah. So that was fun times. So that was another interactive point in the show, but there was just multiple performances throughout, and I got to tell you, when Ben, how do you say, Rohrbach, or how do you say?
I don't.
Something like that?
Rohrbach, yeah.
All right, something along those lines. I've seen it spelled that way and pronounced in other parts of the country. You'll say Rohrbach, or you'll say Rohrbaugh, or some other. Right. Anyway, he's great.
He is.
And he did this number with the blonde girl, Wendy, and at the time, Whitney, at the time, I didn't know anything about the two of them. I just was enamored by the two of them. Like, oh man, they're really getting into this.
Yeah, yeah.
Turns out they're married, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful.
But they were adorable in both scenes. We staged that little fight for them in the Deflator Mouse scene.
Yes.
And they were so great. She threw the water at him, and everyone went, oh, it was really fun. And then they got to make up with the Phantom of the Opera and do the little dance.
The All I Ask of You.
Oh yeah,
he did the lift.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that she occasionally works for the princess parties.
She does.
And will. You can't say that she dresses as, but you can say that she's best friends with Cinderella and either Elsa or the other one. Anyway, she's best friends with a lot of these famous Disney characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she appears as them. Can you say that?
Well, technically, no.
No? Okay. She does not.
She's very close with, to the point where they look related.
They're twin sisters.
That's some old Disney rule, and I noticed that on Facebook that Whitney posted. Oh look, I'm close friends with Cinderella, and here she is doing something, and you're like,
oh, that's interesting.
The resemblance is uncanny.
That's so funny. I think she was selling pumpkins the other day.
Yeah, as Cinderella. Cinderella was selling pumpkins.
Cinderella was selling pumpkins.
And you know what? Cinderella
Whitney was there.
And you know what happens to Cinderella's pumpkins?
Don't they turn into
magical coaches?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impossible. Things are happening every day. I forgot to notify
Did you get a notification that our
Dry cleaning is ready?
No, that our show is happening right now.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. Well, so anyway, congratulations on the event. I know we had to do a little bit of the unpacking there because I haven't seen you since it and haven't really talked to you much since.
Yeah.
But a good time.
Yeah, thank you for emceeing the event.
Oh, you're welcome. I was glad to because I probably wouldn't have come otherwise. I mean, I don't like not having things to do, you know? What would I have done?
Well,
what would I have done? I would have just, I don't know. I mean, I would have been uncomfortable. I would have been like, why is that other guy emceeing and not me? They don't like me. Obviously, no one likes me here. What am I even here for?
that's true.
You know?
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad I put you to work then.
Oh, yeah, I was much more comfortable. I was a million times more, even though my back hurt, my feet hurt, and I hardly ate anything. It doesn't matter. I was much happier.
Same. I was busy. I was exhausted. My feet were hurting. I didn't eat. I was only drinking water until the very end, but you wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, that made me. I was much happier doing that.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. So I'm glad I got to MC it.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, I've got another. In fact, by the time this shows, I will have emceed another event, which, in real life, is tomorrow, but in your life, it will have been on Friday the 12th. An event with Dr. Jerry Punch, the NASCAR announcer, who's an actual doctor, as the keynote speaker. So
nice.
Looking forward to that.
Nice.
Because the other thing I've been doing, keeping busy, is I did 6 of those interview shows now for the East Tennessee PBS.
That's a lot.
And we did them all on 3 consecutive Mondays.
Right.
Because, we talked many times on this podcast, even though this is episode 8, we've talked many times about how you were the first person I interviewed for this up close show.
Right.
Because they literally said to me, find someone easy. I mean, find someone find someone who will be easy for you to interview, someone with whom you're comfortable, and someone maybe you've interviewed before, because at that point in time, it wasn't about us as much. They needed something they knew would go well. They needed a solid, interview that's you two are just going to do the thing, and all the other moving parts are what they're worried about.
Which is funny that you chose me because we weren't doing this yet.
No.
Yeah.
I think that led to this, really, if you think about it. It was one of the steps along the way.
Yeah.
And the reason I chose you, one of the reasons I chose you, is because your husband had told me once, a few months prior to that he thought I was a good interviewer, and I thought, well, that's what a compliment. I should interview Kathryn again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was in the spring semester. So the fall semester, I had, and I think they're going to start showing these once a month at the end of December, January, February, March, April, May. So I think
on Tuesdays at midnight.
Yes. What a time slot. It's really Wednesday at midnight because it's Tuesday night as it rolls over into Wednesdays, the last one of the month. So I don't know the dates, of course, because I have to look at a calendar, because it's some weeks it's like the 21st, and some weeks it's the 28th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It depends which is the last one of the month.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so I interviewed Ashley Georgakopoulos, who's a medieval reenactor and actress. And
that's fun.
Very interesting person. And, oh my gosh, did I just draw a blank? Oh no, Jeff Joslin, my friend Jeff Joslin, who made a movie about Coach Ken Sparks. And won some awards at the Knoxville Film Festival with it.
That's great.
And then the next week, I had my friend Logan Murrell, a country singer.
We talked about her, yeah.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
She's cute.
And then, in addition to Logan, it was Dr. Jerry Punch, which is what reminded me, because I'm going to be seeing him again at the Haiti...
At the event.
At the benefit for the people in Haiti. And he was fascinating. Absolutely. I think I talked about that on last week's show. And then the most recent batch of interviews was comedian Leanne Morgan, who I have an interview with Leanne Morgan that's on YouTube from 2017, maybe.
Okay. Has she gotten funnier?
Has the interview gotten funnier, or
has she gotten funnier?
No, it's I don't think it's possible. If she's already 100% funny, I mean, she's never not funny.
That's great.
She's always consistently funny. And that YouTube video I had I've now 64,000 views on it.
Wow.
And what happened was I threw it up there because I was doing these interviews at a radio station, and most of them got destroyed and not saved because they went on a YouTube channel, and then the company changed ownership, and the YouTube channel that all these interviews were on was wiped out.
That's a shame.
So I had I went through and found the ones that I happened to still have copies of, and Leanne was one of them, so I slapped it up there. But it's like the rough cut. Mm-hmm. So it's the whole thing. It's like us sitting down and futzing with her microphone, and it's just funny because she doesn't want to touch her microphone. She just wants, you do it. I don't want to mess it up. Okay. She's just telling me to do it. And I've known her for, 10, 15 years, right? Sure. So I'm futzing with her microphone, and she's got this scarf on. Anyway, and she's making fun the whole time. I throw that up on YouTube, and I check one day and see that all of the comments are that I'm a jerk for touching her, you know?
But she asked you
I know,
to
but they don't. But they don't understand.
They don't understand.
These are Leanne Morgan fans, new Leanne Morgan fans from all over the world. And who is this idiot who is harassing poor Leanne about her microphone? So what I did was I went on YouTube, and you can edit on YouTube. You can't do much, but you can trim off the front and trim off the back. So I trimmed off all of that part and just started it with the actual where the actual interview started.
Okay, good.
Where I'm saying, here we are on the comedy couch with Leanne Morgan, and I cut off the 2 minutes that I'd left in because I thought it was cool. I thought it was behind the scenes. Cute. I thought people would appreciate it, but they did not.
Oh, interesting.
So the hateful comments stopped coming in.
Oh, that's good.
Because they don't see that anymore. They get right to the point where she's being interviewed, which is what they want to see anyway.
She could have come to your defense.
Oh, she did in the show, but she didn't know that the
people were gonna.
Yeah, she had no idea that people. She doesn't even know the video's on YouTube. I told her the other day.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
So I told her all that because here we are at the studio and down at UT, and we're back to the same thing again.
And did she need you to put her microphone on?
And
You're like, I'm not allowed.
Like, I can't.
I'm gonna get into trouble.
And I'm trying to do it, and I realized on that show 4 years ago, I put it on the wrong side of her. I put it on the far side instead of on the near side. See, now you remember when we started this show, I said, always put your mic on this side?
Yeah.
It's because I learned the hard way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
And speaking of things that are...
learning the hard way.
How about building a barn without nails?
That would be hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a segue out of that, and I almost went with a wood joke, and I'm glad I didn't. Because the barn, the Middleburg barn in Middleburg, Virginia, was made the old-fashioned way, the mortise and tenon way. What that means is they have the grooved wood.
Right, it fits together.
Yeah,
right?
It fits together I guess it's like Lego in a way, but it's more secure construction. It's the old
Lincoln
method.
logs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lincoln, yeah. So they don't need nails, and they have this beautiful barn. Now, first of all, Fox Chase Farm in Middleburg is a working horse farm with these, show horses, like the jumping horses for the Olympics and things like that.
Yeah.
And they put up a barn, this antique-looking barn, brand new, to be a venue, an event venue. So it's got a stage, it's got a chandelier with the Swarovski crystal.
Very nice. Very nice.
And the fancy HVAC system they put in. I guess that's the thing, put the ultraviolet HVAC system in. All the new construction, I guess, has that.
That's nice. And don't they have like a house that you can stay in as well?
Yeah, if you want, when you rent the Middleburg barn, you get it for the whole day. Noon to midnight. There's nobody coming in after you. And if you wanted, you could also rent the guest house on the property.
Which sounds fabulous.
It is. It's very nice. So you could just stay right there, or maybe you just want to rent it just for part of the day so you can use it as the bride's room. But they have all that stuff. It's meant for weddings. It's meant for fundraisers. It's meant for galas and galas.
It looks beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very lovely.
Yeah.
And my friend Maureen, as I like to say it that way, Maureen owns it, runs it, takes care of it, takes care of you. So you should call her up at area code 540-687-5255 or look them up online at themiddleburgbarn.com. And, the rustic luxury. And this time of year, actually, you probably would at this point book it for this time next year or the spring, but they've got the doors. If the weather is beautiful, when the weather is beautiful, you can, throw the doors open and have the party inside, outside.
That's lovely. Yeah.
And they're, the Appalachian Mountains down here, we call them the Smoky Mountains, but you go up a little bit further and they're called the Blue Ridge Mountains, the same mountain chain. They're the Blue Ridge Mountains up there. And that's what you look out and see.
That sounds gorgeous.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So it's 40 miles west of Washington, D.C., Middleburg, Virginia, 25-minute drive from Dulles Airport. So it's a destination wedding, or if you're watching, I know I've got a lot of friends and family in Northern Virginia who watch and listen to the show. So there you go for the next event.
Yeah, family reunion.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
That'd be kind of fun.
Or you could do an opera up there.
I'd like to do an opera there. Yeah, I can think of all sorts of things we should do there.
Yeah, oh yeah. I wanted to do a comedy show there, among other things.
Oh yeah, that would be
all right.
fun.
Well, thank you, Maureen. We appreciate you. Now, I've got stuff here for show and tell, but I also know this can wait because I'm very worried about you. I'm worried about you, Kathryn. Sometimes I slip into Jiminy Glick. Kathryn, let's talk about you.
Yeah,
because
let's talk about
you are not well.
You know, I'm doing fine, but the bee saga does continue.
Now, wait a minute. Last time we met, I was convinced that you had stayed in a hotel the night before because you looked well rested.
Yes.
But now, this time you really did stay in a hotel last night.
I really did, yeah. But we've been staying in hotels off and on for the last week and a half, really.
Because of the bees?
Because of the bees. So
Kathryn.
They just keep coming in the house. Now I'm having bee nightmares. Oh my goodness, I woke up early this morning because giant bees were chasing me.
You woke up in your clean, comfortable hotel room in downtown Knoxville.
Yes.
Thinking about the bees chasing you.
Yes. Well, we had the bee man come back out on Tuesday. That's his new name, the bee man.
I have a friend, Casey Beeman. He should be a bee man.
He should be a bee man.
Yeah.
He came back out on Tuesday, and I told him where we had found the bees
Yeah.
because they're still showing up after a week of them coming out. So they told us
they
to
got
call.
into your HVAC somehow, and they just every time you turn on the heat or the air conditioning, there's just a spray of bees that comes forth.
Not exactly a spray of bees, but James created this like contraption above the light fixture in the guest bedroom bathroom, and it's catching bees in there. And there was on Saturday night one that was, I'm not lying, it was like this big. I think
That's
it
a big
must
bee.
have been the queen, but it was alive flying around in there.
If you kill the queen, doesn't that make you the royal enemy of every other bee?
I hope so.
Or do you become the new queen bee?
I mean,
You also hope so. All
I
right,
hope
fine,
so, yeah.
fine.
I did murder one of these bees the other night.
Oh my
It was really
gosh.
good. And
All
I
right.
say murder because it was in cold blood.
Well, you're allergic.
I'm allergic, and it was crawling on the floor.
Why can't they bother one of your neighbors
I
instead
don't
of you?
know.
All
So
right.
there was one in the ceiling in my office, and then I was trying to warm up for the event on Sunday, and
that
there
means
was
singing
another
practice,
one.
yeah.
Singing practice, yes. There was
Oh, so you've got your mouth wide open and
I
the
was
bee
like,
could fly in.
Yes. So I turned around and walked out the other way. So I mean, it's kind of terrifying. And so even on Tuesday, after the bee man came, and I told him where all the bees were. He was like, okay, I'm going to spray outside again. I'm going to use something different.
Did you take a picture of the bees? They're not honeybees. Or the man would have told you if they were honeybees.
They're yellow jackets.
They are.
Yeah.
All right, because we went through that last time. Because I worry about honeybees because that's where you would get a beekeeper to come and smoke your bees out and save them. But these are yellow jackets, which, although the mascot of Georgia Tech, are still pests. So an exterminator would get them.
But I came home from a massage because I'm throwing my back out from this like terrible like tension that I keep getting with the bees. And there's another bee in my office.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if they recommended acupuncture?
That'd be good.
'Cause
They should. Yeah. That would be terrifying. But then there was another bee on the floor upstairs. And fortunately, I was looking down barefoot.
Did you step on it?
I did not step on it because I was looking at the floor.
Oh, okay.
And that's the one I murdered.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
With what?
With a shoe.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I decided, I'm tired of staying in hotels. You had mentioned to me mosquito netting or something, so I started like Googling.
I mean, I've watched a lot of old TV shows,
Yeah.
like where Gilligan and the Skipper have to do something.
Yeah. I actually ordered one of those canopies to cover the bed so that I could maybe sleep at home.
When you go to historic homes, there are, and especially in the South, a lot of those four-poster beds had mosquito netting, so you could sleep inside the net.
Yeah. So I ordered one of those, but it wasn't going to get here till today.
Oh, the day we're filming.
The day we're filming. So I still had 2 days to try to get through. And so I thought, you know what? What if I just get a tent and put it up in the living room? Just like, I had all these great visions.
Because you were a scout. You probably were a Girl Scout.
No, I've never
probably
been
were.
camping in my life.
Well, we live in the Great Smoky Mountains. Surely Melanie Dodson or somebody has taken you camping.
No, I've never been camping in my life.
Melanie from WOT, she's out there, she practically lives in the woods.
Yeah, I mean...
She's never home. She's always out there in the woods.
In retrospect, I should have posted something on Facebook. Does anyone have a tent that I can borrow?
Already set up.
Yeah, exactly. So I go to Walmart. This is my big plan. I'm like, all right, I'm going to Walmart.
Well,
I'm either buying mosquito netting to like create my own version of this canopy, or I'm going to buy a tent. So I go and I find a tent, and I'm on the tent aisle, right?
Okay. I mean, was it like an expensive grown-up tent, or was it like in the one that a scout would use or a kid would set up in the backyard?
It was in the camping section, and there's this whole wall of tents, and I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Okay, yeah.
Because
I mean, if you're not experienced
I've never been camping.
In
they have the little ones that, look like kid tents, which seem too small.
Okay. Is it for just you, or is it for you and your husband?
Well, I thought it could be fun. Like, I'm like, okay, let me have like this whole fort like created in the living room now. Like, let me get an air mattress.
Well, no, all you need is the cushions from the couch and a blanket for that. I mean.
Yeah, well.
All right.
Okay. So I'm like, got my air mattress, get that off the shelf.
Okay. Oh, all right. So you're not sleeping on the hardwood floor.
No,
okay.
I'm going to sleep on an air mattress under a tent. And
inside the house.
Inside the house.
With the air conditioning going and the bees bursting forth.
Correct.
From the heat or the air, whatever, depending on how hot it is. All right.
Raining down, yeah. So they have these other huge tents that sleep 8. And I was like, well, I don't need something.
Yeah, that wouldn't fit inside your house.
That's not going to work.
That's a backyard tent.
Yeah, so.
Or a Melanie Dodson out in the woods tent.
Right. So I find one that says it's like 10 by 10. 10 feet by 10 feet. I'm like.
Did you measure your house?
My living room's pretty substantial.
So I wouldn't know. I mean, I know that when you buy a house, they tell you all the measurements of the house, but I don't remember any of them, nor would I even be able to guess how big this room is.
I mean, I was just guessing, but
okay.
I buy it.
All right.
I get it home. I'm all excited. I have plans.
Are you alone or is your husband helping you? Okay.
I'm alone.
Just you and the dog.
Just me and the dog. And I'm excited. And I'm going to set it all up. I was even thinking like I'm going to have like the lights off and get like the video camera and a flashlight.
Yeah.
And like show everyone that I was camping.
And do a ghost story.
Yeah, do a ghost story.
About the dead bees you murdered.
Yeah, and then turn on the lights and show everyone that I'm in my living room.
Did you make a video of this? Or picture? Do we have any evidence of this occurring?
No, because when I pulled the tent out of the bag, there were no actual...
Bees? There were bees?
It was just the cloth. Yeah. No actual poles to create the tent.
How could you buy... Wait, no. Clearly, you don't sell the tent poles separately. Clearly, when you make tents and sell tents, you must include the tent poles. Yeah. How do you do that?
I think I bought an accessory bag that didn't have the poles.
So you didn't buy a tent at all. You bought a bag?
I bought a box. It was like in a box.
Did you take it back?
Not yet. No, I just went and stayed in a hotel.
That's why you were in a hotel last night? Because the tent didn't work?
Yeah. So James got out of tech rehearsal and he called me 5 minutes, like it was like 10:55, and it was just when I discovered that, this is not what I need to create a tent. And he was like, well, do you want me to stop by Walmart? I'm like, they close at 11. So
they used to be 24 hours.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
When I could have just gone back and purchased what I needed to camp in my living room.
Oh.
And hide from the bees.
Well, do you at least get some sterno and cook some eggs out there on the floor?
No.
All right.
It's a good idea, though.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's pretty disappointing because I got my hopes up for this great,
Yeah, it was a good idea.
Yeah.
It was a fine idea. It would have been hilarious.
Would have been great.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's still funny. Well, you're going to try again.
Yeah, I'm going to try again.
Okay.
At least, I mean...
But the bees might be gone.
Hopefully.
Well, what you can do is once you get it all figured out, is you can go with Melanie Dodson off and
That's right. I'll be prepared.
You and James and Melanie and Jake can all go, have classical music in the woods and do whatever it is y'all do. She plays the piano. You can sing.
We'll entertain the bears.
Well, it is about time to wrap the episode, but I would like to explain, because last time I had some show and tell that I never got to. And it turned out to be a bag of throat lozenges, so they're gone. They're being consumed. But I will show you that next door neighbor Nancy is so lovely and so generous that she had a surprise trip to New Orleans to go see some rock band with her son. I mean, like a hip rock band, not like the Rolling Stones or some old timers. It was
something current.
Yeah, and she said, "Can you take care of the cat for a couple of days?" And of course, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, that's
so
nice.
Between Jerry and me, we had to take turns because one of the days it was. I was at TV all day, making 7 TV shows. So Jerry took care of the cat. But I even went back afterward to check in on him and bring the mail in. And, he likes me.
Good.
He likes to play with the feather thing.
Nice.
So anyway, Louis is a good cat. And when Nancy came back from New Orleans, she brought 2 things. She brought this bag of coffee, which you recognized.
It smells really good.
As being a New Orleans thing.
Yeah, Commander's Palace. Have you ever been there?
No, I know.
My gosh.
I've been to I went to New Orleans a few times back in the 90s. But I haven't been in a long, long time. I've not been since Katrina, for example.
They have an amazing jazz brunch at
Yeah?
Commander's Palace, and James and myself and his parents were there, and they come around with the umbrellas and do their little.
Oh, like Preservation Hall, like like the New Orleans funerals.
And they picked me up from my table, and I got an umbrella, and I've danced around
sweet.
Commander's Palace.
Well, and Nancy, the reason I haven't opened the coffee yet is because I'm terrified. I mean, because of I'm going to have it on a day when I'm off and can stay home because it's got chicory in it, which is a very New Orleans thing.
Yes.
And I don't know if this is true or not, so I could be talking out of error. But my friend Paul Orr, who is from Louisiana, he would prefer chicory coffee. He was trying to find chicory coffee because that's what he grew up being used to. And I said, "Oh, what's chicory coffee?" He says, "Well, actually, it's some Louisiana type plant that they add to make the coffee less expensive. Back in the olden days, they would like cut it in to make the coffee last longer. Nowadays, it's become a delicacy. It's the opposite has happened. But he also told me it's a great laxative. So he either lied to me so I wouldn't take his chicory coffee, or it's a great laxative. And I thought I probably should not make this on the day that I'm going to PBS.
Probably not.
Or
just to be safe.
Any of the other jobs. So I'm thinking Saturday. One of these days, very, very soon, I'm going to be making chicory coffee.
It smells delicious.
And as if that weren't enough, I wish I had saved the bag, but there's some place called Brocato's.
Oh!
Angelo Brocato's.
She went to Brocato's.
Oh, look at you.
So good.
Well, she got me a bag of fig cookies from Angelo Brocato's.
Nice.
And I didn't save the bag because I was so excited. We busted them open like 2 minutes after she gave them to us. And rather than try to crinkle the bag, I put them back in a Ziploc. These are fig cookies. Would you want one?
Well, maybe in a minute. Those look delicious.
Yeah, they're like wedding. They're like got the sprinkles on them.
You want to get one out and show it?
Yeah, here. This is a nice one. This one on the end over here. Look at this. So it's got like fig Newton-y, but better than fig Newton-y. It's like full of fig jam, and then all of the non-parallel or whatever those little round sprinkles are on top.
This is great for you because you can figure out a new way to use your figs.
Yes. And I got into a conversation with someone at your Glitter and Bee gala, that the Dabbing for Pearls, who is a fig person.
Who was that?
I think it's Holly from Holly's Gourmet Market.
It might have been because she had figs on that table.
She did.
Yeah.
She did.
I remember you showing me the figs.
Yeah. And she's a big fig fan. And I feel like I talked to someone else who was a big fig fan recently. And I have to have more fig conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, as they know all these recipes that I don't know. And I'm hoping I might see Anissa Rowland from Pellissippi State Community College if she comes to the last day of Scholars Bowl. I didn't know this a year ago, which is the last time I saw her. Or no, it was the spring. But over the summer, she's posting pictures of her fig tree. They moved into a house that has a fig tree, and she was surprised. What do I do with all these figs? So she was making things, and I guess wants me to come over and teach her how to propagate the fig tree into more fig trees.
Awesome.
Because I can do that.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you, Nancy. I guess that's it.
Sounds like she had a good time in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she posted pictures from Café du Monde and all the places, but I think I got the best end of the deal right here.
You did.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll chew on this, and you can chew on the idea of liking, subscribing, and sharing our audio and video. We do the audio podcast of this same show on most of the major podcast apps. And if I'm missing one, it's my fault. So tell me and I'll get it on there. And even Facebook is running the audio version of it now.
Yeah,
so
which is great.
you might even see that before you see the video, because they post the audio like at midnight, and the video comes out put out at 6 a.m.
Nice.
On YouTube. And that's everything. frankandfriendshow.com is the website.
That's right. I'm Kathryn Frady.
I'm Frank Murphy.
We'll see you next time.
Time to eat this. Oh, good. That one.
I'm going to.